Hello, hello. Welcome back once again to Pastor B's Kitchen Table. I told you to come back and you came back this week. And once again, we have our guest from last week, Brother Ken Williams, who blessed us tremendously last week. If you recall, we were talking about our bodies out of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15, talks about our bodies are temples of the Lord, that they're not our own. And in fact, we're to glorify God with our bodies. We talked about that. So we want to pick that up again because last week we were talking about, just the idea of our temples and our bodies. And Ken did a tremendous job of talking about not just your body, but also your spirit, because your spirit impacts your body and how you see yourself. And also, so we just want to come back and just kind of put a bow on that because some of you had some great questions about this and great comments. So I want to come back and Ken, once again, reintroduce yourself again, please.
I'm Kenneth Williams. I'm a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for 20 years. I own and operate my own business. It's 6322 Richmond. It's called KW Fitness.
Hey, man, long time, and you see him. He's evident. So we talked last time, Ken, about just the whole necessity of doing it and how we view our spiritual life, how we view Christ. We want to glorify Christ with everything that we have, including our bodies. I read an article written by a man who's a writer for sports for ESPN, and he was talking about what he called the new midlife crisis. He said there was a time in which the midlife crisis was about older men trying to get younger women in fast sports cars and dressing younger and all. He said, but now what he's seeing the fad now is that you got people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s who are trying to put a greater emphasis on fitness. The thing now is that how do I get in shape? How do I go out strong, if you will? And he talked about how people are doing marathons, ultra marathons, they're becoming triathletes and yoga and all those kind of things because they're really trying to recapture some of their youthfulness. And I'm sure in the business you're in, you see a lot of that. So are most of your clients in their 20-somethings or are they older?
The majority of my clients are probably from the age of 35 to 65. So they're in that range to where they're not fresh out of college, but they're established in being a little bit older. So that 35 to 65 is the range of my clients.
And I ask that question because someone is watching us right now who is 45, 55, 62, it's not too late. No,
not at all.
Okay, because everything we said last week, and we said a lot last week, that no matter where they are, it's not too late for them to begin that. Now, bring us to the question of how should one start? Okay, they've heard you, they understand the actual spiritual component of it, they understand just from a physical standpoint, they understand that from a medical standpoint, but where should they start?
Every person is different. If a person has never done any kind of physical activity, I always just say start off with walking.
Okay.
It's the easiest thing to do. It doesn't cost any money. You can start by walking outside your door and just walk.
Okay.
Get a Fitbit. Count your steps, monitor your activity during the course of the day. My big thing for people that first start is all about activity, the amount of stuff that you do during the course of a day, whether it be counting your steps at the grocery store, counting your steps including saying going to check the mail, but just overall activity is very, very, very important because I think we've become a society of sedentary. So it's about activity, the amount of stuff you can do during the course of the day. Just be active.
Okay. Now, for that next level individual who wants to put something on paper, what plan would you recommend? How would you start? They certainly have not had an interview with you yet. They have not sat down. But if they're watching right now and they say, okay, just give me some baby steps. What should I put on my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or my Tuesdays and Thursdays? What would you tell them?
I would say start off with push-ups.
Okay.
Something you can, and this is before you get to the gym. So because the gym can be so intimidating to people when they first go in, especially if they don't know anything. The easy thing, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, stuff you can find some household products. Bicep curls, household products, side laterals, cans of beans, something that has anything that can cause resistance. Bicep curls, military press, side laterals, just something you can do in your home because it's got to be about comfort.
Okay.
You have to be when you have comfort, you get confidence. And so you just want to start off with the things that you can do with what we call body weight exercise,
Okay.
push-ups, sit-ups,
Okay.
maybe even some pull-ups. Like I said, find you a couple cans of beans, doing side laterals and bicep curls and military press, just to start off with. There is a lot of information out there, and since we are in a tech age, you can get on your phone, you can get on YouTube and put on beginners workouts.
Okay.
And there's a plethora of information that will show you correct form with your movements and something that is nice and easy before you even get to the gym.
Okay. So there's no reasoning for someone saying I'm not a member of a gym.
Not at all.
Finances. You can reach into your pantry and pull something down.
Yes, very, very, very much so.
Wow.
Anything. I know guys that when they first started lifting, put a bar on it and take books on the bar and started bench pressing with books.
Wow.
So because they couldn't afford to go to the gym.
Right.
So they found ways to do. There's absolutely no excuse for a person not to be able to find something to do.
So even if someone's watching, you have a toddler, you can take a toddler and lift your toddler.
Correct. So I have clients that have newborns that can't necessarily come in.
Right.
So they're going to put their toddler in a what do you call it?
It's a carriage.
Yeah, carriage. I'm sorry, and push it and just get their walking in that way.
Yeah.
I've seen where they wear harness. They're doing squats. They're doing lunges. They're doing military press. There's all kinds of workouts for women that have kids that are stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff. So even yoga, there's YouTube things on yoga. All you have to do is buy a mat. If you don't have a mat, just do it on the floor.
Yeah. So there's all kind of ways, the old proverbial saying, to actually skin this cat.
Yes, there's no reason for a person not to be physically fit.
Okay. That's good news. Someone need to receive that. That right there, what you have, you already have things that are around you in your home or your apartment that which you can be utilized right now. You can be pumping your Purex, your Clorox.
Exactly.
You can go in and pump some of them liters that you have of Mountain Dew, and you can use that also. There's so many things that even your child, your beautiful daughter, your beautiful son. So that's an insight that we always consider we need to go to this big box gym and we just sign up for like 4 years and then go out and spend $200 on fitness wear because we gotta look good.
Right.
And all those kind of things, and then go for about a week. Now, being honest about this, what are some potential injury situations you need to look out for?
Okay, so one of the biggest things that I run into is people try to do too much too soon. So, for instance, instead of trying to walk a mile, they go try to run 2 miles.
Right.
The injuries that come on are pulled muscles, muscle strains, and those are the biggest ones. And it's from trying to do too much too soon.
Okay.
So you're not going to start off looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you don't want to start off pushing Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of stuff.
Right.
So you want to start off with what the body can do. If I have a new client that comes in the gym, I'm not going to start them the same way I had a client that I've had for 5 years.
Right.
Everything is about baby steps.
Right.
Good form, not trying to do too much too soon, and or getting burnt out. So they go gangbusters for the first month, and they're in the gym every single day doing every single machine. They're in the gym for 2 hours at a time, and the next thing you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month in, and they're burned out.
Yeah. So if you have someone who's gung-ho, they say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to drop this weight, or some guy say, I'm going to get real ripped, and they want to go, like you say, they want to go every day, they want to go hard, 2 hours. How do you back them off that?
The saying that I've come to live by as a trainer is less is more.
Okay. Say that again.
Less is more.
Explain that.
So, especially as a person who's not trying to be a super anything, it's the least amount of work to get the most amount of outcome.
Yeah. Okay.
So you'll be more beneficial going to the gym 3 times a week for an hour to an hour and a half than going every day for 2 hours and get burnt out and not going anymore. So that's where the saying less is more. I would rather the person walk 2 miles than run hard 1. Their benefit for that is better. So less is more. It's a lot less impact on your joints, a lot less impact on your body, and it's a lot less time that you have to put, that you feel like you have to put into.
That's great. Can you say a word, Ken, about BMI?
Okay, BMI is body mass index. There are some pros and cons to body mass index. It's your overall index of mass of your overall body. A lot of like police departments, fire departments, and the military use that to determine health levels. And it is still used a lot today. BMI, for the most part, is outdated. And the reason being is it doesn't take in a lot of other aspects. It takes overall body mass. So for instance, my body mass index is going to be very high, but it doesn't take into account the amount of muscle that I carry on my body. So percentage-wise, if I'm at 12% body fat, my BMI can be considered obese because of the amount of muscle that I hold on my body. So it's a good tool. But it's kind of outdated for what we use today. We use more body fat, which is the amount of fat to muscle ratio that your body has, along with your weight. So, like I said, a person like you and I that work out, that hold a good amount of muscle in our body, are going to have a high BMI, which registers bad for a lot of these index readings. But if if our body, say your body weight is 190 pounds and we're 5'7" or 5'8", but yet we're 10% body fat, BMI doesn't register that. So it's not a totality of everything that's going on.
Now, I've heard the argument related to the scale versus the inches. In other words, people are saying that I'm not so much trying to lose weight, I'm trying to lose inches. Can you explain that?
Yes, and that's where body fat actually comes into effect. The scale is not a telltale sign that's going on. So if a person is working out, lifting weights, on a nutrition plan that's working for them, the scale is not necessarily going to change, but their body composition will. And the reason is, if you're gaining muscle and losing fat, the scale is not going to always tell you that.
That's good. That's good.
But inches will tell you that, and getting your body fat tested will tell you that. So that there's and actually, fat doesn't turn into muscle. And this thing about so muscle is denser than fat is. So 5 pounds of muscle looks like this, but 5 pounds of fat looks like this. So that's where inches will change as you gain muscle and lose body fat. But the scale is not always a telltale sign of what's going on with your body.
Because how many people have just become in a state of depression, in a very catatonic state, because of the scale?
The scale doesn't move.
The scale doesn't move.
And the scale is such a small part of what's actually going on with the body as you start working out. So that's why with my clients, I said, listen, if you want to weigh as part of it, that's fine, but don't let the scale be the only thing. And the other thing is, look in the mirror. How do you feel you look? Because the scale may say one thing, and you look in the mirror and say, well, I didn't lose much weight. But let's look and see how your body has transformed. That's what I call it, a transformation. Because it's more than the scale, it's more than BMI, it's body fat, it's the scale, and how you look. Wow, that's a good word, because look in the mirror, because your clothing should change. Your clothing One of the things that when you start working out and you get in shape, your clothing change. They start falling off you. The inches and your waistline, all that. That is so good. I'm hoping that's helping somebody today, because you've been trapped by that scale, and I'm saying no. You can move beyond that. And he said, look in the mirror. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Start small, baby step. Do what's manageable. Don't go out there and get some big workout regimen that you know you cannot maintain, and that leads to injuries also, because if anything will deter you is when you get injured. So you can't do that. We started down a path last time, but I want you to go back and pick up, please, because we were talking about the importance of nutrition, and you were talking about meal prep, and you were talking about what your meals are, but we didn't touch on the part about quality of food. Can you go back and get that for us, please? So I'm a big proponent of quality of food. And people ask, well, what do you mean by quality of food? So when somebody tells me, say, well, I went to Wendy's and I got a salad. I said, well, that's good. But first of all, the salad quality that you're going to get at Wendy's is not the same salad quality that you're going to get at, say, the vegetable part of the supermarket where you go to. And I'm not trying to say organic versus non-organic, but what I am saying is there's a big difference between hormone-free and GMO-free food versus food that's not. And the number one way you can tell it is when you cook it. So when you get a regular chicken breast, and it starts off like this, but when you finish and you cook it down and it ends up like this, you can tell it's been sodium, nitrates, hormones have been injected in it. So when you cook a chicken breast, if it finishes close to the same size that you started, you can tell that it doesn't have as many GMOs, nitrates, preservatives in it. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about quality of food. You know, when I go to the supermarket, I am looking for foods that don't have preservatives, don't have additives, don't have hormones in them, that are antibiotic free. And this goes on to the bigger picture of why we have such bad strains of the flu or bad strains of stuff that antibiotics don't cure anymore. One of the reasons is because of the stuff and antibiotics they put in our food. And so the reason why they put antibiotics in this food is how they raise food. So, for instance, if you go to a chicken farm, chickens are raised in closed quarters like this. And when you raise chickens in closed quarters, to keep them from getting sick, they pump a lot of antibiotics in their food. So whatever they ingest gets passed on to us. So when you have these colds and these sicknesses that aren't getting treated by regular antibiotics, a lot of it has to do with the food that we're taking in. So when we start talking about quality of food, we want to talk about food that has the least amount of stuff in it. And it's very hard now in our society to find stuff that doesn't have stuff in it, or the stuff that has in it is cheaper than it is to find stuff that doesn't have anything in it. So when I'm talking about quality of food, it's the food that is the least amount of additives and preservatives and nitrates and stuff that's in it.
Now I know that neither one of us are getting paid for promo in any of these institutions. But where should a person go to look? Because you said that the food doesn't have this, doesn't have that. I'm sitting there thinking about where you find that at. So what are some places that you recommend going, or maybe some place we already know, maybe look at a different section that we're looking for? As you gave a great illustration that if you start cooking a chicken breast and it's like this, and when you finish cooking it's like this, something wrong. So where should we start looking? Where should we look for a better quality of food?
I go to H-E-B. H-E-B has some of the best selections of fruits, vegetables, meats, and everybody, there's a misconception that good food costs a lot. That's not exactly accurate. So you just have to spend time looking at the places that you need to look. H-E-B has a whole meat section, whether it be beef, chicken, fish, pork, that is non-GMO, all natural. And I'm not even talking about organic. I'm just talking about natural. Brown eggs that are cage-free eggs that are very, very cheap. So you don't have to spend a lot more money to get healthier food. So my mainstay has always been H-E-B.
H-E-B.
But most supermarkets now have those. Randall's has it, Kroger has it, you know, Central Market, obviously Whole Foods, but they all have this kind of food. You just have to go get it. Sometimes it can be more expensive, but for the most part, it's not.
How do you feel about these organizations now that will, you can like go online, whatever, and they'll like meal prep you for a month or meal prep you for 2 months? What do you have? Have you ever tried any of those?
I personally haven't tried. I've had clients that have done it. I don't see anything wrong with it. Usually the quality of food is there. You just have to do the background on the companies that do it. Like I said, I have clients that currently do it, and they live and die by it. And one of the most important things about those companies that deliver food, they're only going to deliver the amount of food required for each particular meal. So there's a lot less waste in those particular companies. So they're going to send you a breakfast meal, a lunch meal, and a dinner meal according to the amount of people that you're asking per meal. So there's very little waste to those companies. So that's a plus side to those companies.
So they're not going to bring this big all-you-can-eat buffet.
No. They will send you food according to the amount of food people that you're ordering for.
Portion control.
Portion control.
So someone is watching now, Kim, and they says, you know, I'm going to try this. I'm going to start this. Give me 3 things that you would immediately encourage them to remove from their diet or go into moderation in their diet immediately.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Processed foods and sugar.
Okay.
Sugar is the silent killer. People don't understand that sugar's in pretty much everything. Michelle, my wife, and I do the Daniel fast every year. So we usually do it after the Super Bowl because we want to eat for the Super Bowl. But and one of the things in the Daniel fast, you can't have anything with sugar. So you have to read the label. Sugar is put in almost every single thing you eat as an additive or as a sweetener, as a filler. So when sugar is one of the #1 things, it's because sugar is an absolute everything. What I mean by sugar, I mean processed sugars. It's an absolute almost everything.
Explain that when you say processed sugars.
So so this, even though it's apple jelly, I can get, let's see, ingredients: apple cider vinegar, apple juice, apple cider, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. That's basically sugar. So fructose, sucrose, and anything with an ose at the end of it is some sort of sugar in it. Maltodextrose. So all that stuff is sugar. So it's a process, and it's basically put in every single thing that you eat. So #1 thing, like I said, alcohol, processed foods, and sugar.
So all that lunch meat, Spam, Vienna sausages,
gone.
All that.
Get
rid of all that.
And processed foods is, it's a touchy subject because everybody eats, so everything goes through such a process. And to say to eliminate that, I understand it's a hard thing, but like you said eliminate it or cut it back significantly. Those are the 3 first things I always talk about.
What about pizza?
That's processed food.
That's processed food.
And I love pizza.
And so, and yeah, me too. I love pizza, especially on Friday. And so all these, like a burger, a fry, a big gulp drink for $1.99, all that.
Yes, the $1.99 menu is another thing that people. I've heard of people just going home to feed the family, and I understand that you have a family of 4 or 4 of 5, a husband and wife. You're coming home from work, you don't feel like cooking, but the detriment to the Happy Meal, or the detriment to the full meal deal, or it's just absolutely horrible. With the quality of food, quantity and quality that you're getting for $1.99, you're getting a quantity of food that's usually probably too much, and the quality of food that we're giving, not only that ourselves but our children too, is just And we talk about that, but there are better choices. You and I love pizza, so I get a whole wheat pizza with very light cheese, very light sauce, and it usually has vegetables on it. So, but it's also making better food choices. I like it when I put somebody in a food program. It's not about depravity, but trying to help them make better food choices for themselves. Because then they say, well, when do I get to cheat? Well, if you're eating like you're supposed to be eating, there's no such thing as cheating.
That's right. Exactly.
Eat what you want to eat.
That's right.
In moderation. So, like I said, Michelle and I had a burger last week, but I made it. I went to the store, bought some grass-fed beef. Bought some natural cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, and I baked fries.
Baked the fries. Wow.
And that was our cheat meal.
Ken, how does someone find a partner to help them with this? Because it can be difficult when you're by yourself. Just because you have those mornings or those evenings when you just don't feel it. So what instructions do you give about being in community and doing this?
Find someone who has common interest in working out with you. That are very similar goal oriented towards what your physical fitness goals are. The misconception is you want somebody who's here to help you push you here. I'm a believer that you want somebody on the same plane, someone who's not going to overpower you, or someone who's not going to I don't like to say drag you down, but hold you back in your physical fitness goals. So Talk to people at work. Talk to people at church. Talk to people in your neighborhood. When you start walking, in our neighborhood, people have found walking partners just because they've been walking at the same time. I run at the track almost at the same time, so I've developed friendships with the people that are running at the track at the same time, so then you become run buddies. The other thing is maybe join a run group. There are certain groups you can join, whether it be a run group, a walk group, a bicycling group. And then in the gym, there tend to be some, if you go online to certain of the corporate gyms, they have gym groups, or where you go to church. So they're just, and the biggest thing is just to talk to people, find out where they're at, and try to compare to where you're at, because a partner is very, very beneficial for your physical fitness.
And I bring that up because I noticed a big push here recently has been these cycling bikes, Peloton. But yet what Peloton did, they didn't just simply send you a cycling bike, they brought you into a community. They brought you up like a video conference, a video workout, so you're not by yourself. Is what they've added to the deal. And I think about the same thing is in the body of Christ. We grow better when we're together. The same thing happens here because it provides accountability, provides encouragement, and it provides all those kind of things that we need. So what we're saying to you, my brother, my sister, today is that there is somebody who's thinking just like you. There's somebody who wants to do something, but they don't want to be the only ones. And so many times, just the idea of I've tried this before, and I've gotten involved with someone, and this person I've gotten involved with, you know, they're almost a professional bodybuilder, and here I am just simply trying to walk around the block. Find someone the same love, but you pray that God, who He would send into your circle, and just get out and just start working. As you heard what Brother Ken says, that you can start in your home. You don't have to start at a gym. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but just start exactly where you are. Get a partner in this whole process. Be mindful of the quality of food. Now, I know we always talk about the quantity of food, but the quality of food that we're purchasing and ingesting into and distributing to our children is so vitally important. So He's given us all these things that we need to know. He talks about the importance of injuries, the importance about watching yourself. And if you get an injury, listen to your body. Take the time you need, but go slow, go slow, go slow. You can't go from being whatever you are to whatever you want to be in 45 minutes. It just doesn't work like that. Ken, if you would tell them once again how they can contact you.
You can go to my website, kwfitness.net, or you can call me at 713-443-2033 and answer any questions that you may have. And if you don't want to come in, if you have fitness questions, nutrition questions, I'll be more than happy to answer anything you have.
Amen, amen. Once again, 1 Corinthians 6:19, it says, do you not know your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit? You're not your own. Therefore, glorify God in your body. But so many times we have just omitted that passage. I know the contextually is talking about sexual immorality, but also God's given us this temple, and we need to take care of the temple God has given to us. I pray God will start a new line, a new branch on your family tree, and He bless you in terms of fitness, regardless of what mom and them was, and dad and them was, and auntie was, and all that kind of good stuff. And if you heard anything else say here, we all enjoy food, we enjoy eating, but we certainly don't worship it. But we do worship our true and living God. And part of our worship is how we show our servitude in taking care of our body. So pass this on. Call somebody. Send it to them. Tell them what you heard and what you're getting ready to do. And I'm going to pray in Jesus' name that God will send you the partner that you need to help you get to where you get to. I'll see you next week right here at Pastor B's kitchen table. May God bless you. May God keep you. And most of all, may God use you. See you next week.